In this chapter we're going to do a concrete sculpture of an iguana and some rocks. First we have to consider possibly sealing this if it's going to be outdoors. There's a number of possibilities for sealing. You could use a shellac, you could use an auto body primer, you could use Sculpt Nouveau's ceramic primer, or you could use a silicone sealer. For the first three, you would need to seal the whole piece top and bottom, where if you use the silicone sealer, all you have to do is seal the top area. So we're going to use the silicone sealer here. It basically is very easy to put on. It dries in about a half an hour, and it penetrates into the concrete about 1/4 of an inch. It's made for marble. It's a marble silicone sealer, but it works on any porous surface. One coat is all you really need of this. Next, after it's dry, we're ready to put on the Sculpt Nouveau Bronze B. This is an acrylic with metal powder in it, suspended in that acrylic. It's important at the beginning to shake up the container with the Sculpt Nouveau bronze coating, because the metal powder in the acrylic tends to go to the bottom over time, so you need to shake it real well. Now we're going to put it on. First coat is very important. I've shortened the brush, so I'm doing this with a stippling effect rather than sort of a brush type stroking effect. And you want to make sure to get it in all the little nooks and crannies. It's very important to put it everywhere. That first coat is going to determine some of what's going to happen later on with the patinas. You can also coat the bottom if you wish. That would just ensure that no moisture would get through it if this sculpture is going to be outdoors. Indoors it doesn't really matter. This is a 6-hour drying acrylic, so it may dry in 45 minutes, but its actual curing time is 6 hours. We're force drying this just so we can get on with the process. If you're going to force dry it, a hair dryer is probably the most ideal way to do it. I'm using a paint peeler or heat gun. The problem with that is if you get too close to the sculpture, it might peel the metal coating off. I'm doing a little touch-up work here where I may have missed some spots. You want to look at it very carefully. If you can have it up kind of high so that you can look underneath it and make sure you've got all the little crevices. Now we're ready to put on the second coat. Again, make sure you shake it. I usually shake it every time I'm going to use it. If it sits for an hour, I'll shake it again, just to make sure all the metal powder is suspended in the acrylic. This second coat is the coat that you're going to put the patina on. So it has to be liquid while you're putting the patina on. And so depending on where you are will determine a great deal of how much time you have to put on the multi-patina. This studio is very damp, so we're going to have a lot of working time. It's very ideal. As opposed to, let's say, if you had your studio in Arizona where it might be very dry, no humidity, you have very little working time. Say Florida, where you might have a great deal because of the humidity. Again, make sure you get the paint everywhere, because again, the patina isn't going to activate, isn't going to oxidize unless you have wet metal.